So hello guys, today I'm gonna be talking about the earthquake that happened in the Tohoku that 10 years ago. I mean it's already like 10 years, already a decade. So to commemorate the anniversary of it and to just like for me personally earthquake is quite a big thing, a big problem that we have these days. And in 2011 of 11 March 2011 there's a big earthquake and a tsunami happening at Japan, especially in the Tohoku region. And it was, I think, 9 in magnitude of 9, I think. It's really big, I mean, compared to here, my place. I mean, in here, I think I've also experienced some of the earthquake happening. And I'm gonna be sharing some of this story, especially, like, to be honest, earthquake is something that's scary, like if things really happen, like it could happen within a few seconds and we don't know how our life would be once the earthquake finish. And that's the scary part. I mean, if we talk about earthquake, like 6 magnitude of 6 of earthquake is already quite scary, especially with the buildings moving around like that. And then I mean, I've experienced the highest is 7.1 thing, or around 7 like that, or 6.9, I think. Well, to be honest, I was in the fifth floor during that time, and it was quite scary. It's the building itself is really swinging left and right, and I mean the the initial reaction that I get from the earthquake is that I get really dizzy. Like I thought that I have some kind of headache like that during that time, and I was at school, to be honest. To be frank, I mean, I was at school, not studying, and then suddenly an earthquake happened. I think the first the earthquake when it happened was small, like it wasn't really that big, like. But then I it builds up, especially it really like increases slowly. And my first initial reaction is that I get really some kind of dizziness, not I think a little bit headache, some dizziness, like I feel like things aren't like my surroundings are moving left and right that, but I do ignore because I think that I thought that other people might not have it and that I just really feeling quite sick, to be honest, before. But then things started to change when I start to feel some swing on my body. Like I feel really like some movement of my body, unusual movement. And when that happened, I start to think that maybe it's me, like because I'm being feeling so dizzy that I think that my body is feeling ill. Like I'm not in the right mind, not in the right state. So maybe I'm really weak, feeling weak. But then others start to feel like, oh no, like there's an earthquake, like it's started to become a big thing. And when that happened, my first initial thought was that if there's an earthquake coming, then I would have to go out of the building. And the only reason for that is because at outside of building is also dangerous. I mean, like street can be really like broken and holes everywhere, and then light poles or I don't know what kind of pole fall down, but it's less likely for you to get like injured or problems will come after, like because if the building collapse once, then it will become a big problem. But then during the time, I think I follow the teacher sensei instruction and just go under table to just wait for like around at the 20 second, 10 second around that time. But it feels long. It feels so long. And to be honest, it wasn't like it was scary. But then I'm feeling lucky to be able to survive. And with the probability of going to Japan and living there, I don't know if, and if those like if earthquake happen again at there like 8 or 9 I wouldn't imagine what I would do, to be honest. But currently, like, I think I've experienced a few earthquake to like really know what it feels like, especially the big one, not the small like 4.3 magnitude. Like it's if like earthquake of magnitude of 3 or 4 might not be as bad, but like of course it's different. I mean, I've experienced mag- earthquake magnitude of 6 to 7 around a lot of times. I mean, especially living in a place where it's really close to the ring of fire. I think it's called in scientists called, and they say in my place like there is a high chance that in the future, like next 10 5 10 years, there will be a huge earthquake like around 9 10 11 in magnitude, and it's quite scary, to be honest. But then like now with it the earthquake like it's like it's quite different from other country like Japan. Let's just say when there's earthquake, you get it in your phone like you can really know when the phone suddenly buzzing, like the TV rings, like telling to like outside also ringing in telling that there's would be earthquake. Like in my place there's none of that, so like when it happened like, I just don't know, like suddenly it happened like within seconds, so it's quite scary, to me. But then let's talk about the Japan earthquake. Like personally, I do feel like if I was in the situation, I will be quite scared too, and it's difficult for me to move around. Like especially like thinking back, like if I have been living in Tohoku during that time, I might die because of tsunami and earthquake. But now, like for now, like we are still all still safe. Like earthquake is less happening, and we still need to support the emotional support. Like the trauma that happened due to earthquake, like might be big, like might impact a lot in our life. Especially like if earthquake do really happen, like it's scary, to be honest. So now I'm gonna tell you what to like prepare and what to do when there's earthquake, or either small or big. So to be prepared, things that you should know. Sometimes, like when earthquake happen, you might not be able to move your body because you're shocked. You might feel traumatized or shocked. And yeah, I know that it might happen. Like, but it's best for you to like be prepared before like it happen. Like you don't know when it come. You don't know like what would happen if it comes. Like you might be not moving, you might die, you might live like that. You might be crushed in the rubble. So right now I'm just like advising. So like it's still our choice whether you. It's still your like body, your choice, your mind, like whether what happened to yourself like that. So like it is not a very guaranteed safety or what anything. So like it's just a suggestion or recommendation, but it's still not like something that you should like I am forced to do. No. So the first thing that you need to do is supplies. You need to really have your supplies near you all the time. Like for example, you have like food, water, clothes, like some of them, and then maybe the easily stored food for like 1 10 years like that, and then next thing would be torch and then phone or radio or walkie-talkie, like maybe sometimes, and then like things like I don't know, like maybe some kind of things that can help you signal for help like that, especially. And it's important for you to be placing those supplies on the back and put it near the exit, like your door, like outside going outside or window when you want to jump down. Well, the only reason is that because like when earthquake happen, you are going to be panicking sometimes, for some people, and you're going to be like you want to go out of the building fast after like maybe the shaking stop or if the building start to collapse, and you don't want to be like busy preparing for supplies for your survival. And to be honest, you don't want to like going out of going out of your building or house without bringing anything, and then have to playing some games to get those, like you have to punch people or move them out of the way, like using force to just take the supply and rob, maybe steal some supply from the other. So you want to be prepared and not to be like and also bring like put in knives to really be assured for your own safety. So like it's one of the measures that you can take to be really helpful, and especially when the government suddenly like become overwhelmed because of the earthquake, and of course different almost a lot of the places will be affected by the earthquake. And when that happens, then government don't have time to give like their supply to each one of them. So it's better for you to prepare for maybe like 1 week, 2 week, 1 month maybe, and also put in like your bank account near you or maybe in the back if you want, but don't just put it like somewhere safe and place where you can just easily take, and you can easily take what difficult for others to find, and then yeah, just easily take and run away like that. Second thing is that when earthquake happen, the first thing that you should do is that if you're living in a very fairly new building that that can withstand the earthquake, that when earthquake happen, there is high chance that it can collapse. Then you can just hide under table for like maybe around until the earthquake ends. But if like you're living in an area where the building is easily collapse or earthquake so big that high risk of the building to collapse, then the first thing you should do rather than staying on the table is to go out and run downstairs and get away from the building. And that's for safety, especially like you're not going to you're going to survive, but it's still much safer for you to just run outside, especially like when the earthquake start. It won't just like it depends when, but sometimes like in Tohoku earthquake that time it's built up, so like you have time when 0 to like let's say 6 and to 9 magnitude. You have time for during the build up to run away at least to or outside of building near the safe area where like poles will when fall down it won't hit you, building and collapse it won't hit you like that. That's number one. And that's number two, right? And basically like if you are like let's just say your building is you are living very far away from the like sixth floor, seventh floor, and then the building is high risk of collapsing, and then earthquake happen. During that time, the best way is that just to you have to use like the surrounding area. Just try to find maybe ropes or what. Of course, hiding under table is one good way, but if it collapses, and of course when it collapses, the whole building collapse and the table won't save you from anything actually. That's why it's better for you just run outside and run down. But if you don't, especially the building collapse before you can get out of the building, then the best way is just jump out of building. Maybe you can sustain some injuries, of course, like broken, but it's better than being stuck under the collapsed building under rubbles and just waiting for your life and that to be in the hands of the safe for the from the in the hands of the safe well or some people that will come and help you get out of the collapsed building. Yeah, of course, that's another thing that you need to know, like that after, like I say, you are out the building, you're safe, and you know earthquake stops. The next thing you should do is, as I say, you are not sustaining any injuries. You should find a car maybe, or find something that can right. You can find, or maybe run if you are near like the mountains areas or highland like that. You can run if or if you're fast enough. But if you can find a nearby car or maybe just your own car which is still safe like that, go and drive as fast as you can to the highland or maybe the, let's just say, mountains area. Is one of safer way, especially if, let's just say, tsunami comes, then you are pretty safe. And the fourth and the last thing that you should do, maybe like, if let's just say tsunami won't happen, the last thing, like earthquake stop, tsunami won't happen, the last thing you should do is help other people get out of the building. Like, if, let's just say, fire comes out, like big fire, then the best way for you just, if there's fire, don't jump in. But like if collapse building and suddenly people get stuck under the rubbles, then the best way for you is just to go and help them, save the people who are saving the other at times. And of course, like during the incident, then it will be real problematic, because they have to go A, B, C, D, all of place. So it's much safer for you to, much easier for them, and you can be like, it's bit of the process of just really saving people, which will help the rebuilding and every other process become more fast and efficient. Well, I think that's it for now. I mean, it's been 10 years, and I think that we have to really say that it's such a tragic incident that happened, but we have to move fast from that and be more prepared from what happened in the future. Let's just say if the same thing happened or even worse that happened, then you have to be more prepared, more like known like what you do before, like if things earthquake happen like that. And last thing before do, let's just say you have some like drawers or like some some things that, like, you will store some place where you can store things, and then it doesn't, it's like very light or something that can easily fall, even like during earthquake like 6 or 7. Then the best way for you to just lock it in place, like use some kind of like screw like that and lock it in place. Don't make it as easily fall down. You have to be able to lock it in place, and so that it's also much safer for the in the future too, like when you want to run outside, so that books or things won't hinder you. And for TVs, like if you want to hang the TVs, is also a better way than just put it in like, I don't know what you call that, but well, I think that's it for now. So it's just be prepared before an earthquake happen. Actually, that's the message from me. So I think that's it for now. So see you guys next time. I think please like, subscribe, and comment and share this video. And see you guys